SMT Nation, we are back. Nation, in today's video, I want to discuss this topic with you all here today. I think it's worth your read to check out this article first, before you kind of make any comments, because that's initially what I did. I gave it a read. I got a set of notes that I want to discuss some things with you guys, some talking points, some considerations. So let me just go ahead and start by saying, give this article a read. All right, link will be in the description. And don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe if you're new here and turn on the bell notifications icon to never miss an upload from the SMT. All right, anyways, let me get to this. We have a new FCC on deck. All right, we have a new FCC chair. It's going to be Brendan Carr. And, you think about the way things are going within the industry, the FCC is going to have to be different this time around. The last one was absolutely an abomination. It was so bad for basically the entire time, right? You had spectrum authority stripped away from the FCC. We don't have enough spectrum. We don't have a pipeline plan of there's so many things that need to be tended to, right? And it's a critical time in the industry. There really is just one more last hurrah to try to fix the 3 gigahertz band. I should say bands because it's multiple bands, right? You have C-band in the upper part, which is N77. Then you have CBRS, which is in the middle at 3550. Shared, low power. We know all the restrictions, right? Less than ideal. And then right below that, you have some DoD spectrum. They call it. It's the lower half of N77, right? So you got the two parts of N77 sandwiching N48, right? And then there's a little bit of spectrum down at the bottom. And that's from 3100 or 3.1 gigahertz to 3450, right? So just below that bottom part of N77. And I don't know what band number they're going to have or anything like that. I have no clue. I don't even know what to tell you guys. But currently that spectrum is being utilized by the United States military, the Department of Defense, specifically I think Navy, if I remember correctly, or that might be CBRS. But I definitely know it's in military use. And they're not going to give it up. That became abundantly clear earlier this year and last year when these discussions first started happening. Best case scenario, at least according to insiders and those that are in the know, they're saying that it could be made available to the public, to commercial usage like carriers, as a shared frequency band. Sounds like they kind of want to do it at the very best case scenario, the lower half of N77, and I think most likely they would treat it like CBRS, with it where it's shared and low powered, and every time they need to use it, it powers all those radios down from carriers. Not ideal. All right, carriers are not interested in this, guys. They don't want that spectrum like that. Okay, so I say all that to say this. Brendan Carr's FCC, moving into 2025 and beyond, they need to address a few things. The first thing is a spectrum pipeline. We need a plan. We've already heard that the FCC wants to make 2,500 megahertz of bandwidth available in this pipeline. And that's great. And they want half of it, about 50% of it, to be licensed so that carriers could use it at high power and not be restricted and those types of things. So I'm all for that. That sounds like a great plan. The second thing, restoring and maintaining spectrum authority. That can't happen anymore. An authority lapse cannot happen. That is very disruptive. You can't have any continuity. It's undermining of the agency. It can't happen anymore. And then the last thing that I'll mention is the 3 gigahertz. We have to figure something out. Whether it's how we're going to address the 3.1 to the 3.4, or fixing CBRS to make it better, or whatever. Something's got to get fixed. And carriers don't want shared spectrum. They need full powered licensed spectrum. They are willing to pay huge bucks for licensed full powered spectrum. Think about it. C-band auction generated $90 billion. Why the hell don't we want that? And when you look at how that lower part of the 3 gigahertz is kind of set up, it's over 300 megahertz of bandwidth. Isn't there a version of this where part of that band is secured for commercial usage for carriers, and you still maintain guard band and still allow the DoD to have their operating portion without any type of shared spectrum use? The FCC has a big task at hand, and that is to fix bad things from happening in the future, making sure that they don't get repeated from the past, because there have been so many occasions where things could have been better. They could have been great, but the FCC ruined them because they made bad decisions. And I don't want to say CBRS is a bad decision, because there definitely are some fixed wireless access providers who are doing great things with CBRS, and Verizon's doing great things with it too. But it's less than ideal. I think maintaining that as shared spectrum is cool. Keep it there. But we need better outcomes out of 3.1. This is the last hurrah to fix and make 3 gigahertz better. Because after this, guys, the frequencies, they go up for available bandwidth. And with higher frequencies means less range, which means carriers are going to have to really densify. And that's expensive, right? To add density to networks, to add a bunch of tower sites and upgrades to sites, because the signals don't travel as far in the higher frequencies. So, we kind of need all of this, right? We need the stars to align. I'm hoping and I'm optimistic that things will be better this time around, just because I do think Brendan Carr is going to do some good things in his time as the FCC chair. It can't be worse than what we just saw. The last 4 years have been an absolute dumpster fire. And it pains me to say that, because nobody wants the success of this country and the benefits to be the United States citizens more than me, more than us here within the community. We just want to be the best, right? And that's how you got to do it. You got to make good decisions. There's consequences for decisions, right? And, if we're going to compete with China and internationally and all these things, we're just going to have to do better. More coordination, better leadership, being more decisive, and making good calls, right? That's what this is going to be all about. We'll see what happens. I think the outcome is the carriers will be happier with this FCC. I think more action will come, less of the red tape, less of the obstacles, more agreement within the leadership, and it's got to be better. We'll see. We'll evaluate things in 4 years and see what happens. Anyways, give me your thoughts on this. Tell me what you think is the destiny for this 3 gigahertz, for these 3 gigahertz licenses and bandwidth. Excited to see how this all plays out. But thanks for watching. Comment down below. You're the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard.